with vision. Extending it toward the world.
Faith, love, peace, and joy.
There it is. All right. Glad you could make it. Would you like to say a little something?
Good morning, all. If you'll take a moment and just relax into your chair. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. Father, Mother God, we are blessed with this beautiful day and all these beautiful faces. We are the faces that represent the light of God. And with so many of us, we help spread that light. We relax, knowing that we'll be blessed with everything we learn from this point forward. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's so nice to be here. Getting my band ready. And my phone. While I'm up here getting things adjusted, I would like to introduce a friend of mine who you've probably heard me speak of from time to time. And if you're following me on Facebook at any point, you know that I mentioned this person, and today is kind of like our 6-year memory of a very important day in our lives. But Chaz Wesley is here. Chaz, if you would stand and let everybody know how awesome you are. Whoa. Thank you. All right, here we go. My life is fine. I would say I'm truly blessed. There's no question I have had my share of success. But something has changed. Could it be I'm living a lie? And sometimes I feel I'm living someone else's life. Cause mine does not tell you how to find your way. Nor does it tell you every step to take. So as I take each step along the way, I will stand in my truth every day. I'm standing in my truth. I'm on solid ground. Now I can start to turn my life around. I'm free to be my destiny. I'm standing in my truth because I believe if I stand in my truth, then I will be free to follow my destiny. stand in God's light, in God's glory. You better believe I will stand, no matter the day, no matter the hour. You better believe I'm gonna stand. I will stand in my truth, yeah. 'Cause you know that I will stand. I'm standing in my truth. I'm on solid ground. I once was lost, but now I am found. I'm free to be my God's destiny. Yeah, I'm standing in my truth because I believe. If I stand in my truth, then I will be free to follow my destiny. So I stand in my truth. Yes, I stand in my truth. No matter the day, no matter the hour, you better believe I will stand. Yes, I stand. I stand in my truth.
For you, my lady.
So for my first number, I'm gonna sing. I promise you it will not do. So, what about this? Wow. I just want you to know that I promise to forgive anyone who's napping by the end of this, because you guys look kind of cozy out there. This is amazing. I love that. And this is really fun. Bukeka and I tried to connect so many times, it's not even funny. It's just like, so we finally meet. We're like forced to be in the same room at the same time. So thank you for that, Ethan. That was beautiful. And there's a lot of things that we're going to talk about that are tied to the concept that you talked about in your song around the whole life doesn't tell you what steps to take. So my topic today is thoughts are things. We are co-creators with God, right? Creating our reality through thoughts held in mind. Now, if you came up in the Unity world, you know that's principle number 3. If you did not, you may recognize it more, the term law of attraction. So, if in fact that we create our reality through thoughts held in mind, my question to you then is, so what? Meaning, that rolls off our tongue and new thought as readily as homemade kombucha, but let's think about it. How much do we actively engage it in our day-to-day lives? Do we understand what it means, and do we understand how it translates? So, when we think about law of attraction, there are hundreds of people who will charge you thousands of dollars to learn how to use it. Have you noticed that? Like it's a skill. And I'm here to tell you that the law of attraction is not a skill. It's a universal principle. It is a universal law that is present and active whether we are understanding of the process or not. So it's like gravity. So you don't get up in the morning and think to yourself, you know, I'd really like to apply a little more gravity in my life today. Tired of all this floating around. No, so it's not a principle that we can actively use. It's something that's going on that we just need to create an awareness of. Which what that means is that the legacy that you create for the planet and for your loved ones is really just a culmination of the thoughts that you continue to think over and over and over again. Which, by the way, a belief, like a core, deeply held belief, is just a thought that you think over and over again, isn't it? Are your beliefs true? I've asked you this before.
No.
This is a trick question. Everybody's like, hey, I think so. Like, I mean, they're true to you, aren't they? And so it's not that they're not true, it's that here's an interesting statistic. If you think about it, most of our belief systems were created between the ages of like 3 and 8 years old. before we had actual cognitive skills, so we can challenge that thinking. But studies recently have told us that close to 60 to 70% of our belief systems that we hold as adults have not changed since we were 8 years old. So what does that mean to us? It means that we're not challenging our thinking as it relates to that. And to be perfectly honest, if I'm really being transparent, I will tell you that I am a little bit uncomfortable with the term co-create. And the reason for that is because it implies that we are making something that didn't exist before. We are not. So hold that thought for just a minute, because I'm going to swing back to it. But I think that's important for us to keep in mind. So we're all born with the inherent awareness that we are hardwired for great things, weren't we? I mean, you came here with that understanding that you have everything you need at your fingertips to be successful. So, as a result of that, that becomes our legacy. So that's a collective consciousness actually also determines the rate of speed and the amount of overall satisfaction that you have with your daily transformation, whatever that looks like. And the reason I say daily transformation is that there is never a time that you are not in transformation. Law of physics, right? You're not moving, you're dying. So when we talk about daily transformation, if in fact we are never at a place of transformation, that means you are making a choice every single day. So one of our options is we can be a reactive victim of the collective thinking of all of the random people around us. We could do that, couldn't we? So a friend of mine calls that the collective peeing in the pool of consciousness. Which I think is a great analogy, because think about it, you're in the pool, you're sharing. You are. And so the reason that this is important is because it reminds us of the cesspool that we can wallow in when we don't do any editing of our own thinking processes, when we just become reactionary to what's going on around us. So what's our other choice? Our other choice is for us to proactively determine what goes into our cranium and into our subconscious. So that's our other option. That's where we start to create the life we want. That's where we create transformation that kind of works for us. Now the reason, it's interesting because there's a reason that we don't necessarily do that. So if you think about it, if in fact we know what thoughts make us happier, why don't we just go there all the time? Part of it is just the interference, right, of all of the stuff that's going on around us. So that's part of it. The other part of it is understanding that as soon as we decide the direction of our lives, as soon as we start to set an intention for a new experience for ourselves and we start giving that some energy, what happens? The wheels fall right off the bus of your current reality, don't they? And you have to be emotionally prepared for that because it will happen. And this is why it's so uncomfortable for us, is because if you are in a relationship that's not healthy, you can't attract a new one until you're available, right? Another law of basic physics, two things can't occupy the same space at the same time, right? If you're in a job that you hate, trying to get a promotion there is not going to make you happier. So you have to figure out what are some things that you can do to energize that. And because what starts to happen is, as soon as we start to get comfortable and we start to kind of check in with the fact that maybe we have created some level of sameness in our lives, the universe will remind us that energy must move, won't it? Something's going to shake up. So the reason people don't like change is because you're generally something that you are reacting to, isn't it? So I got to figure out how am I going to manage this thing that's happening to me. But people who are highly resilient, people who are co-creating, if you will, with God, aren't waiting for things to happen to them. They are shaking stuff up purely for the purpose of enhancing their life in some way. And I will tell you as a coach, most people will not do that. For the very reason that I talked about. Because once you do, you have to be prepared for the emotional exchange that's going to happen as a result of that. So, if we know what's going to make us happy, we have to think about that. Now, obviously, when we start looking into the ideas of thoughts or things, is that we have to talk about, okay, once we have the thought, where do we go with that thought? What actions do we take? And action is super important, right? That's a very important part of the manifestation process. But I'm here to tell you that as a coach and also through my own spiritual journey, I have learned that there's no amount of action that makes up for faulty thinking. Like, you can take action all day long, but if you still are not telling a new story about who you are and what's possible for you, the actions you take are not going to be inspired actions, and we're going to stay on that loop, if you will, over and over again. So, what I'd like to share with you then today are like 3 primary observations that I've made about thoughts. And I'd love to get your thinking on this. Okay, the first one is the title of the talk. Number 1 is thoughts are things, period. Thoughts are things. Every thought you have has energy associated to it. Number 2, the thoughts do not manifest. The thought doesn't manifest anything. And then number 3 is you are not your thoughts. Now, if it sounds like I'm a walking contradiction, I want you to just stay with me for just a minute, and let me explain to you exactly what this means as we move through this. So first of all, thoughts are things. Now, I could talk to anybody for 10 minutes about what's going on in their life right now, and I can tell you exactly what they have been thinking about and talking about for the last year or so. Now, I'd love to tell you that it is my highly developed spidey coaching senses, but what it really is, almost always, is just a textbook case of self-fulfilling prophecy. Mother Teresa knew this. For years, activists would ask her to be involved in their anti-war rallies, and she would continue to decline. And finally she said, you know what, when you are ready to stage a peace rally, then call me. Do you see what I mean? It's so important, and I want you to really hear this, because especially now in the political climate and all the things that are going on in the world right now, you cannot eliminate anything by pushing against it. Everything that you push against, you are giving power to. Does that make sense? This is a really important component right now, so I have a lot of energy around this. So while it may be very well intended, it's like the DARE program as it worked in schools. Anything that you wage war against, terrorism, drugs, cancer, a political candidate, it doesn't matter. Anything you wage war against, you are actually giving excessive energy to the thing that you say you don't want. It's kind of terrifying to me, actually. Anybody who's on social media right now and sees kind of what's happening in the social media makes me realize that the people who are trying to make the world a better place are actually propagating the problem without realizing that they're doing it. So, you can't convince people of that, but that's the world that we live in. So, I'm not talking woo-woo stuff here. There's scientific evidence to support it. Pick your study, right? Think about, how many of you are familiar with Heart Math Institute? I talk about them once in a while. If you're not, look them up. It's incredible. But they built their entire studies around understanding the electrophysiology and how it's connected to our subconscious thoughts. So I've taken several classes from them. I was up in Minneapolis. They put like little electrodes on our fingers and on our hearts, and they measure the energy that's being emitted from our bodies. And so when you think about that, what the Heart Math Institute has proven over and over again, and these are scientists, by the way. These are not spiritual leaders. Their job is to take a look at what is physically happening when a thought takes place. They went to the Olympic athletes back in the 1980s, hired Dr. Dennis Whaley to come in and teach them how to do visual motor rehearsals. Anybody remember that? It was big on the news. For those of us old enough to remember that, back in the 80s. So it's interesting to me because what they found out is that they would have these runners run their race from the beginning to the end, completely in their mind. So they were hooked up to all these like really expensive, sophisticated biofeedback systems, and they measured what was happening. And what they came to realize is that when they were running this race just in their mind, they were supposed to like imagine what you look like, what you feel like, what is happening, see yourself crossing the finish line. And when they did that, an amazing thing happened over and over and over again. And that is that the neurotransmitters of the brain were actually, and in the body, were actually firing at exactly the same pace in the same way at the same time as when the runner was actually running the race. Isn't that cool? So what that tells us is that your brain, your mind, your subconscious can't tell the difference between reality and what you're thinking. There's no distinction between the two. So it's scientific. Dr. Marty Sullivan, University of Pennsylvania, for the last 50 years has been studying this, and he's been proving it over and over again through positive psychology. There's a proverb in the Bible that alludes to this. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is not new information to us, is it? We know this. Dr. Alan Klein, who created Inside Out Coaching Model, talks about that. He said, it doesn't matter what your level of education is around something, that has little to nothing to do with whether or not you're successful at it. Because he says, it's not that people don't know how to act, it's that they're not acting on what they know. It's not that people don't know how to act, they're not acting on what they know. So why is that? So we all get it in theory, right? But now we've got tangible evidence to support it. Number 2, thoughts do not manifest. So here kind of spawns my suspicion around the term co-create, just a little bit. I read an article, it was actually in Unity Magazine probably 10 or more years ago. And it was, to me, it like really triggered my grasp of what was going on, because to me it was like the metaphysical piece of the puzzle that was missing for me. And I'm going to share it with you and see what you think about this. So he asked the question in the article, what is a mirror? What is a mirror? Because the mirror is not real, right? So there's nothing to change about the mirror. The mirror is simply a reflection of whatever is standing in front of it. True? And so if in fact that's the case, and there's nothing in the mirror, when we see something we don't like in the mirror, we don't try to change the mirror, do we? I mean, the mirror is a really useful tool. Like, if we didn't have a mirror, we couldn't even see our own face, right? So we use it to decide, to look at what we're wearing and how our hair looks, and if we have our makeup on straight, right? But it's really just a reflection. It doesn't tell us anything that's not actually happening. So, one of the biggest conceptions of life is that the mirror is real, and that our goal in life is to get things in the mirror. You see where I'm going with this? Our goal in life is to get things in the mirror. So anything, here's interesting, that couldn't be any further from the truth, because anything we see in the manifested in our lives is simply a reflection of our thoughts. That's it. So if we see something in the mirror, then it is a reflection of what we've been thinking over the course of a period of time. Charles Bukeka referred to this as substance, right? The unmanifested, if you will. Basically meaning that we don't ask God to give us anything because it's already been given. It's already there. In the unmanifested, if you will. So once I finally realize that there's nothing I have to create, there's nothing I need to make, then I stopped and I had to ask myself the question, okay, if I don't have to literally create anything, then I want to figure out how do I get stuff like from the unmanifested into the manifested? Because isn't that the $1 million question? Like, how do we make that happen? Right? So how do we make that happen? How do we get into the unmanifested? And so what I came to realize is that if you're not literally creating, we simply need to align our beliefs with what we would like to see in the mirror. We have to align our beliefs with what it is that we want for ourselves. So, if I'm seeing this in the mirror, here's the interesting part. So I look in the mirror now, my life, and I say, okay, if I'm seeing this in the mirror, what must I be thinking? Yikes. And so the problem is like when we look in the mirror, sometimes we don't like to believe that we're thinking those things. Do we? We don't like to believe that we're thinking the things that are giving us this experience, right? So we see ourselves thinking things like, I see this other person as smarter than me, or I'm destined to be alone, or I have to struggle if I'm going to be successful in my business, or my body's just old, it's supposed to fall apart, right? So we come up with all these things that we believe, or things that we say out loud, and we can't figure out why we keep seeing it in the mirror. So we don't pray to God to please be nice to us and give it to us. It's here. If we really look at the mirror, we will no doubt discover some of those things. So we know for sure that everything that's ever been created started with a thought. We know that, right? This lectern, or that chair, or that camera, all started with a thought. But here's what's interesting. So we discovered penicillin in 1929. Penicillin was always there. I spent 10 years in telecom, right? We think we invented a cellular communication device that can communicate with people using energy waves. The energy waves were already there. So we didn't create them, we pulled them from the unmanifested. That's what we did. So, in effect, everything that's ever been created starts with a thought. Okay, so I'm going to show you a really quick cycle, what I consider to be a cycle of manifestation. If I had, we had a slide projector, or I would have brought you the slide. Look at you go. All right, so next time I will know that. So let's just look at it this way. So let's just say there's a cycle of manifestation that involves 4 pieces. So here's your thoughts up here. Everything starts with a thought. So when you think of thoughts, and you talk about it all the time, the words you use, you believe this, you talk about it, here's your words over here. When you talk about something, it actually evokes a feeling, doesn't it? So here's your feeling. And whatever it is you're feeling determines your actions. So it's thoughts, words, feelings, and actions. And this is what I mean by the thoughts don't manifest. So I will ask people, a lot of times I'll say, where is your belief system? What do you think? Where do you think the action or the manifestation actually takes place? Most people will say either thoughts or they'll say actions. But the reality is, your actions are very dependent on your feelings. Do you remember the movie The Secret when that first came out? Lisa Nichols talks about the emotional guidance system, if you will. And that's what she was talking about. Is the whole concept is that whatever you're feeling will determine your actions. Brene Brown says that we literally dress rehearse tragedy. So we have a thought about something. I'll tell you a quick story. Mickey and Jeff and I used to work for telecom several years ago. In fact, we always say that like Mickey and Jeff is like the best thing that ever came out of the Sprint-Nextel merger. So you're welcome. So, but during that period of time, if you've lived in Kansas City very long, you know there's kind of a little bit of a history of layoffs. And so I took the voluntary separation because I wanted to work for myself. Well, about a week later, a good percentage of our department was laid off. And so as a result of that, they sent out a meeting maker, a meeting invitation to everybody that was displaced and everybody that was still in the department. The meeting maker was entitled the Cool People Lunch. Well, who doesn't want to go to the Cool People Lunch, right? So we all showed up to the Cool People Lunch, and it turned out to be about a 2.5-hour bitch session is what it was. How bad the economy is, how unfair the package was, how everybody's out of work, and now there's not any jobs out there. It was so painful. And so I decided not to be a cool person after that meeting. But what was interesting, here's the real story. That was 11 years ago. Folks, there is still a Cool People Lunch. Why is there still a Cool People Lunch? Because misery loves company. Right? Some of these people are still unemployed, or they've been employed and they're unemployed again because their thought or their belief is that life is unfair and I don't have any skills, or there's so many people out of work, whatever the case may be, and because they talk about that. If you really believe that there's no jobs and life is unfair, what are you feeling? Yeah, sad, depressed, hopeless. If you're feeling sad, depressed, and hopeless, what actions are you taking? Either none at all, or certainly not inspired actions, right? Which propagates the belief, because what happens if you aren't taking any action? Nothing. Which propagates the belief that your thought that says, see, I told you there's no job out there. See, I told you life's unfair. You see how we propagate that cycle? And the cycle is very powerful. You have 65 to 75,000 thoughts a day. So I'm not recommending that you monitor all of your thoughts, because that's not possible. And it's neurotic, don't do it. But I do think it's important that we recognize that when we are being aware of the fact that we are thinking a thought that's not taking us where we want to go. Because you'll feel that. You'll feel that in your heart, you'll feel it in your belly, and that's how you know that you are creating something that you don't want, is because it doesn't feel very good. Now, on the flip side of that, here's the small contradiction, and that is, in new thoughts, we believe that anytime we think a thought that's taking us to where we want to go, it's supposed to feel good. Sometimes it's terrifying. Sometimes it'll make you feel anxious or endangered or scared. Especially if it is butting up against or doing battle with a long-held belief. So we need to think about your thoughts as, like when you're pouring concrete. So let's think about your thoughts as the mold when you're creating a concrete foundation. Have you ever seen concrete being poured? So you got the mold on there, and you have to leave the mold on there for a long time until the concrete can stand on its own. So what happens is, we leave those thoughts around that concrete until eventually the concrete hardens and becomes a belief, and creates a right sturdy foundation for how you operate in the world. It's very difficult for us to get around that, so we start thinking that we're right, but we don't know that for sure. So, what I want you to know is that you cannot blame the mirror. So if you're experiencing lack of any kind, it's not because there's something wrong with the mirror, your life. It means there's something wrong with the thoughts that are feeding the mirror. So we go back and we take a little bit of causal analysis to determine there's nothing wrong with the mirror. It's just what we're putting in front of it. You can't stand in front of a mirror and not see your outfit. And you can't stand in front of the world and not see your thoughts. Because you're going to see them. The emperor has no clothes, right? And so finally, you are not your thoughts. That's the last piece I want to share with you. There's a psych term called emotional reasoning. We have any psych folks out here, psychologists, doctors? The psych term basically means this, is that because I feel this way, it must be true. Meaning, I feel really sad right now, so there must be something wrong. Or, I am really angry, therefore you must have violated my rights in some way. Or I'm really scared, so something is looming around the corner that I need to be afraid of. This is like textbook monster under the bed stuff, is what it is. So even though there's no real evidence to support it, when you have this feeling, it feels very real. And the longer you harbor this emotion, the longer the likelihood that these things will start to show up in your life. Right? If you believe you're stupid, you will find evidence to support that. That's another psych term called the confirmation bias, which means that we seek out evidence to support what we already believe. That's messed up, but we do it, don't we? So, if in fact that's true, if we have a belief system about that in the manifestation cycle, and we talk about it, and we have certain feelings about it, and we take actions in accordance to that, then there's a very high likelihood that's going to show up. People predominantly will treat us the way we expect to be treated. Have you ever heard the study that they did with students after the 1950s, where they took just like a random sampling of kids, and they told half the kids that they were like, they put them in separate classes, and they told half the class that you guys are excellent students, that we feel like you have skills above and beyond those of your other students. So we're going to put you in a separate class privately so that you guys can get the level of education that you need. They took the other half of the kids and they put them in a class for troubled kids and said, because you guys don't have the same IQ as the other kids, we need to put you over here because we're worried you're not going to be able to keep up with the classes. So this was a private study that was done by the University of Pennsylvania years ago. So, what do you think happened? No surprise, which by the way, the teachers were told the same thing. So besides the fact that the children who were in the high potential program were excelling in school, the kids that were told that they were stupid and not capable could not function. Half the morning is showing up for school. And the teachers were told the same thing. And you know what they learned is that up to 40%, the teachers, more than 40% more of the time, were more actively engaged with the high potential students. They touched them and hugged them more often. They gave them accolades more often. They spent one-on-one time with them. They did not with the low potential children. There was no credence whatsoever to how this study was. They just took a random sampling of kids and threw them in there. So it goes to show us that people treat us the way we expect them to treat us, and that our experience in our life shows up almost exactly the way we expect for it to. That's why in New Thought we say to expect a miracle. So, I'm from Missouri. You all here from Missouri? I'm from Missouri. Missouri's a show me state, right? It's on our license plate. The show me state. So I was raised with the axiom that I'll believe it when I see it. So the law of attraction, or the co-creation with God, God's held in mind, is counterintuitive for us, right? It messes with the logical ego and rational thought. Because in order for us to be able to see in the mirror what we need to see, we have to believe it before we see it. So our ability to be able to put the cart before the horse is not instinctive, and they don't teach you that in school. So my question to you is it possible for you to simply know that everything you've ever desired is already there? Can you believe that you can have anything you want and you don't have to earn it? You just have to allow it. Is that possible for you? Is it possible to believe that you are the beloved child of a generous God who's already given you everything you could ever hope for? Seek ye first the kingdom of God, the unmanifested, and his righteousness, right thinking, and all these things will be added unto you. Truer words have never been said. Thank you for letting me hang and use space with you, and for not sleeping. Namaste.
Now let us prepare for our time of meditation. Unburden your hands, clear your mind. Allow yourself to slow your breathing and go within. Go to that place in your heart where the divine sound is silence. Where the divine action is stillness. Where you realize that you are in the presence. One with all that is. If you're aware of any tension, pressure, impulse, need, let it go. And allow yourself to enjoy your freedom, your safety, your being. we don't have to do. We can simply be. And what we choose to be becomes the light in the world. What we choose to be is our devoted selves. What we choose to be is our loving energy extended into the world. What we choose to be is peace. What we choose to be is joy. What we choose to be is grateful. So with a deep breath, we return to this time and place, knowing our alignment of consciousness and the will of God is the same. The oneness of all includes us, is us, as we are Him. Thank you, God. Amen. I'd like to say thank you to Cyndi and Doug for that. Thank you. And I'd also like to correct myself. I got Bukeka's last name wrong. It's Blakemore. I did that wrong. Please forgive me. So, all right, I stand corrected. Do we have community concerns? Something anybody like to say, point out? Let us pray for. Lord bless us, our truth now. Mickey.
I haven't spoken with Karen for a couple of weeks, but I do know that she is slated for some surgery. That's all I'll say. Here's from Karen.
Karen Vibes. Yes. Okay. I'd like to say we're truly blessed anyway. Terry, go ahead.
I should thank everyone who said a prayer for the weather will be good on Friday night. We had a nice fire, nice
All
fire.
right.
So thank you to everyone who came.
Okay. Let's say a little prayer for Karen and anybody else that you'd like to quietly hold in prayer. It's in your bulletin. It says, centering our hearts and minds.
We let go of any thoughts of worry or challenge and simply rest in the stillness. We know that our sweet strength and peace comes from God alone. We give thanks for divine order and trust we are all held in the power of grace.
See, that was easy, wasn't it? Now, I mixed up the order, but so how about we take just a moment and have an offering? So there you go. If you would get your gift ready, stay just a second. And as you hold it, let's say a little prayer about that. What do you say? Divine love.
Through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am joy-filled and grateful.
Village not too long ago. It was actually the Blakemore Festival. And I was so grateful to have grown up in New Thought. And every word of every song that I write is grounded in those principles. I'm very happy about that. The song is called A Part of the World.
Have you ever tried to unlock the door that won't open? It's like a game that you are bound to lose. Just when you think you've had enough and you're giving up, you try and get in and the key turns the chamber to move. And then suddenly in your mind comes the thought, doesn't it seem like that's what life's all about? If you can take peace of mind from the start, you will understand you are more than a part of the world. Oh yes, you are. Sometimes the things that seem so small and trivial is just the thing causing someone to begin. I've had days when I thought I wasn't good enough, no. Till the still small voice inside me revealed all there is to learn from those lessons in truth. Like you're in the world, but there's much more for you. It's hard to believe, but I do agree. The lesson for me is I am more than a part of the world. Yes, I can be in my mind. I'm a dancer in heaven's ballet. I'm a woman who loves all the way. And my soul is the giver of all that is good in my life. And my life is a love that is true. One day I wrote a letter knowing that I wouldn't send it. You know what I mean. Days passed and I read it again to see. Had anything changed from the day it was just, if you know me, okay, it's expected to get next week, all right, whatever, but because of that, it kind of cheated us out of the song.
Oh.
Did you come ready to do 3?
I
Do
did,
you
but
have another one?
I do, but I'm going with the flow.
This is the flow. I love the way you sing. I love if you read the theme song.
I do.
Thank you. Then Barbara prays that.
Okay, all right, thanks, guys. And thank you, Cyndi, so much. That, all those things are just so important. So, one more. Last call, last song of the night, folks. Okay. And I love this song. This is Chad's favorite song, by the way. Hold on, gotta get the band ready. Okay, hold on.
Secure, peaceful,
This is
satisfied.
called my R&B mantra.
Peaceful, satisfied. Secure, peaceful, satisfied.
Stay secure, peaceful, satisfied. Okay, I want you guys to keep those 4 words going over your head. On the lazy Saturday, partly sunny, partly gray. Think about the things I've done and just how far I've come. Used to worry, used to trip about money and relationships, but now I put it all aside. 'Cause I'm secure, peaceful, satisfied. Stay 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 secure, peaceful, satisfied. I confidently express the truth of my heart's desire. Yeah. Making each one of my dreams come true. Stay secure, peaceful, satisfied. Stay secure, peaceful, satisfied. Stay secure, peaceful, satisfied. Stay secure, peaceful, satisfied. And even though I may walk through a dark and dreary night, there will be nothing that I shall fear. No more guilt, no regret, nothing to forgive or to forget. Let me go, I let it be. I'm moving through my day with ease. Stay secure, peaceful, satisfied. 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 Okay, I want you to say these words. Stay secure, peaceful, satisfied. 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 Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cyndi. Thank you, Bukeka. That was fabulous. Let's close out in prayer. Father, Mother God, we give thanks for all the blessings that we have received and the blessings yet to come. We know and carry with us the thoughts that Cyndi spoke of, of keeping our thoughts and our expressions in a positive, loving manner. We go out and share our light to the world, share our truth to the world, share our love to the world, knowing the peace within us extends out, and we see that peace extend to the city, to the state, to the country, to all the countries of the world, and see that bright light shining in every single person that occupies this little blue planet that we call home. And we know that is. Amen.
Amen.